Guys, for those of you that are watching this recording, it's I'm just leaving to go get work done, as you already know. I'm just trolling trolls at the moment, really, with the title. It's fun. Like, why is he leaving? Is he gonna spill the secrets? Oh, and they eat it up too, man. So predictable. But media. I'll unplug my Bluetooth over here. But just go down the road for a bit and see what's going on in the world. Boom. Maybe we'll run into some of the convoy down the road. Would say bye to White Lightning. Oh, he's not up here anymore. Last time I said bye the White Lightning, he said, "You'll be back." That was what he said the last time. Which I do plan on coming back, but have a good one now. Whew. He said, "You'll be back." I don't know how he knew. He just looked at me. I didn't even know. I thought I was just leaving for good, to be honest with you. And he was like, "Nah, you'll be back." He didn't even say bye. That was how he said bye to me last time. I got his number now, though, so if I ever need to yell at him, I'll yell at him to that. If I happen to miss him. How's it going, Deb? Oh. So, as I said, I gotta go back home. I sell books on my website, and I still haven't found out a way to make that happen without me present, or bring the books along. I mean, there is a possibility of bringing the books along, but you're talking about me having to have a pile of books now, and then I gotta get a printer, and have a better computer, which ideally in the long run, I should aim for that if I want to travel more. Because it'd be nice if I could just bring books on the road with me, print the labels out and back, like ship them up, ship them out, ship them up and ship them out. But yeah. Yep. I don't know if I'm going to get any trolls with this second time around. I'm really leaving. But it was funny because I know Brian was leaving today. Funky Fathers of Freedom is leaving today. He's been playing all we've ever seen is like long bearded guy. He's always playing music everywhere we've been the whole time, from California to now here. He's just leaving today. Apparently he's going to do some work back at his own like area. Like there's a lot of mandates or whatever that are up for the vote or whatever, and he's going to go speak his mind about all that back home. I guess he's part of an organization out there does such things, and that's that. So I'm not the only one leaving today, but most people, he's not coming back because he lives on the other side of the country. Most people that are leaving today said they were coming back, like what I'm doing. But this guy's waving his Maryland flag and stuff. I saw him yesterday. But yeah, he's gonna go handle stuff back home. Oh, but around somewhere in LA, I'm debating whether I should go or not. Because now it seems like the next move for the convoy is, it seems to be to split up. There's still going to be like the main line thing going on, I think. But really, the thing is to go back to the home capitals. Because that's what I was thinking. I'm kind of glad that that's the move, right? Like, yeah, DC is one thing, you can make a statement there, but really, ideally, you want to have this going on in every capital of every state. Like, that's where the move is, I think, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's the move right there. Because I heard somebody's going. See, the trolls love that video. I knew the trolls would come with that title. It's so funny. I've never seen so many troll comments on YouTube. They came out of the woodwork for that one. I knew it. Oh, it's so good. Finally glad you're going home. You wasted enough time. Bro, I couldn't have done anything better with my time than be here. People think their life is about money or something. I'm not sure. I did not make any money on it. This cost me money, but you know, things panned out in other ways that normally don't. So I actually somehow made more money by being here in other ways that just don't usually do what they did, but they functioned well so that I could be here. I don't know. God's working in the background, that's all I gotta say. But yeah, Funky Father Freedom's going. But there's something in LA. It's like I don't know what it is. This huge thing against the mandates. Looks interesting, sounds interesting. It's a little bit soon. I want to go back out to LA soon. I just came from there because, shoot, I'd be happy living there for the summer, doing Uber Eats and stuff. Shoot, I'll tell you what. Door dashing and whatever. Just crash out of the beach whenever. Oh man. But I think it's a bit soon. I would like to travel the country covering things like this, though. To be honest with you, I don't know why I wouldn't. Just the way my life is. It's my gypsy blood. It's my gypsy blood. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, what I wanted to talk about, and Brian hit on earlier on the stage, is what I have seen developing at the convoy when Brian was gone. Is paranoia began to set in, and I'm not saying this to criticize. I'm just saying to be aware. Paranoia set in hard, and it was always there. I mean, people accusing me of being Antifa and all that, right? Like the whole Boogaloo Boys thing, right? Just because somebody's associated with something doesn't mean that they're representing that group there. And, you know, if he was out there representing it in public, right, I guess it's a problem, but like, if you ask him not to represent that there, I don't think he should be kicked out for his association with being a part of a group. Because then where do you draw the line? I think the only reasons people should be kicked out are for their actions at the convoy. If somebody acts out of place, out of pocket, as the young ones say, at the convoy itself, then for sure, you know, they gotta go or whatever. But just because somebody's associated with a certain group, because the amount of groups that people, like, there's Freemasons there. Do we kick out Freemasons just because you're associated with Freemasonry? You know, because people might not feel comfortable with that. You know, the moment you start kicking out groups of people, I don't even think if somebody was a part of Antifa and somebody finds that out about them, and they're not there representing Antifa, and they're just there being themselves, because every one of us is a living man or woman at the end of the day. Now, that's why I don't fly, you know, flags around with colors and banners, other than, you know, God, and I'm an American, like, declare your nationality, but that's about it. That's why I don't like rep flags, because it's like it gets to a point where it becomes like a gang-like mentality. You know, soon enough it's Crips and Bloods. You know, if you're not with the Crips, you know, you're Blood, oh, get out of here. It's like, come on, man. Why are we even talking about that other stuff? If they're not bringing it there, then it's not an issue at all. If they do bring it there, and you just ask them to stop. You know, any of these groups, because the moment you start kicking out people for their association with groups, which groups do you kick out? Which ones do you allow in? And it turns into like a prison mentality. It does. I hate to define it like that, but that's what it looks like. You know, you got each clique can only hang out with each clique, right? If we're trying to unify the country, we have to get away, not envelop the whole convoy in this. Oh, you're an Antifa. Oh, you're a KKK. You're a Boogaloo boy, whatever. Like just accusations randomly. I mean, if you don't hear the words come out of someone's mouth, you should be booted for spreading that rumor. Is my opinion. If you're like, oh, are you in the KKK? I think you're Antifa. If you said that to someone out of pocket, you're the one that's the problem. It doesn't matter what they are if they're not repping that flag at the People's Convoy. You clearly don't belong. Again, that's why I don't identify with the movement. If you think that's... I'm not saying I'm leaving because of that. Oh, Gigi. Welcome, Gigi. Ugh. No, I'm only leaving to go back home. I'll be back. The convoy has a mission statement, for sure. I don't think you understand what I'm saying, though. You're too closed in your opinions. See what I'm saying? Because it develops this air of paranoia, and then people who aren't even associated with groups are now getting, you know, they feel intimidated by security because nobody trusts anyone. And it creates an air of where people can't trust each other. I drove across this with the convoy the entire country. I think I missed like one stop because I had to go back to LA to pick up a phone, and then I caught back up in New Mexico. I've seen the vibes the whole time, and there was a shift, and it began to become paranoia, fear, and it's the wrong vibe. You don't want that. Then people don't feel welcome, then they feel outcasted, then people start throwing each other out for no, like, so the reasons people are getting thrown out were kind of absurd. Some of them. I'm not going to argue with you guys about that. I'm just saying, deal with it or get out. But Brian was saying the same thing this morning, though. If you're creating division, don't create division. If you're a person going around accusing people of being a Boogaloo boy or all this, you're the one creating division, not the Boogaloo boy. Not the Boogaloo boy. I don't even know what the Boogaloo boys are. Welcome, trolls. Thank you for joining this troll-filled stream. You took the bait. Hey man, what's up? You're Freedom Rising. You back to work yet? You said you're working the night shift. It's all about community, one community under God. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like I'm serving God. I'm not. That's why I don't even identify with any movement, really. The fact that anyone is there means that they agree to some extent about what's going on. And the people who are trying to cause dissent, and I know one of them, I'm not going to mention his name, I'll just see how it plays out, because he's too entwined with the higher ups, and he's got too many connections for me to just mess with. I just don't want to deal with it. But after I saw it happen, and I know one of them who seems to intentionally be causing dissent. Welcome all of my trolls. Let me mod you guys. Welcome to my trolls. And guys, if I mod you, don't ban people because they disagree. But if they're like just spamming or being, too rude, that's fine. We are unified. We all desire freedom. Exactly. Everyone there at that movement has the same mission statement in their hearts. Now, on paper, what that looks like, nobody there wants the Emergency Powers Act. That might not be the main reason they're there, but everyone has the same mission on their heart. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. And again, the moment you start stirring division, it becomes like a Crips and Bloods territory. Democrats, Republicans. If everyone's welcome, then everyone's welcome, and you can't start categorizing people unless they're repping a flag at the convoy, and I didn't see any of that happening. I saw some young people who didn't know how to get the word out, and they didn't feel listened to, and they saw that nobody else felt listened to, and they were hanging out with the dissenter, the rat. And he probably influenced them too. So it's like, it's shameful. Protecting the original focus, which is based on the mission statement, is not creating division. I didn't say it was. Gigi, you're like a low IQ thinker or something. I don't know. You're too angry. Listen to what I'm saying. You're the type of person who come in here and sow division. All these channels call us trolls for no reason. If you don't agree with what they're saying, they call you a troll. Because you're here, that somebody defined it the other day as if you intentionally go into something you don't agree with, video, just to say that you don't agree and you think that it's a waste of time, you're a troll. That's what a troll is. If you're here for the sole reason because you don't like what's going on and you want to state your comments about that, I did call you a name, you're right, but you know, you're acting out of pocket, Gigi. People are literally dying and fighting for real freedom. You guys have had a month of hillbilly carnival disguised as freedom fighting. See, this is trolling. You're free to go home to your family and get back on your meds. I don't take medications, and I wouldn't for years. You know, I don't take anything that's no, what is that? Snow? How did they get that much snow in their car? I mean, that's why I'm here, right? I've been against prescription drugs for like a decade, let alone, you know, forcing people to take a drug. That's, you know, focusing on the mission statement means the movement is welcoming to everyone, including a person who chooses not to wave a flag or pledge allegiance to it, says Justin. I agree. Nobody's forced to do anything. It's your outside ties to whatever groups you're involved with. If you're not bringing them to the convoy, what difference does it make? I heard so many people talking about this guy's a this and this guy's a that and trying to get him out. That's sowing division. And Gigi, you said I wasn't welcome there. That's why I have a problem with you. You're like, you're not welcome here. You don't know what's... Chill. Hang with a bunch of judgmental boomers doesn't sound fun. Yeah, but it's not everyone. It's not even most people. It only takes a couple people. Most people are awesome. And then you have a few people who are like judging others. You're right, they're judging them, right? We're not there to judge. We're not meant to judge other people now. Like, if they didn't do anything, people have done nothing to judge or getting thrown out for ties. So mainly I'm talking about the rumors and stuff. And Brian brought that up this morning, that rumors are causing division, and they are. It's not right now, it's gotten a lot better. It became like a rumor mill. I felt like I was in a YouTube comment section. Trying to figure out the truth from my YouTube comments was like, it was basically that hard. What's the difference between a nationalist, an anarchist, or a patriot? Anything? Oh, of course there's a lot of differences. But what do you mean? I don't know what that matters if you're there for the same reason. Yeah, the mission statement is the People's Convoy. It's the people. And that's why some of those young bucks were getting upset. I totally get it. Like, I saw it was a low point that day. The energy shifted into this fear of paranoia because they were afraid of Antifa coming through the woods. No, Antifa's coming through the woods. Antifa's not marching through the marsh to do something. They're lazy bones. They're sitting at home, keyboard warriors. If you went out in the streets and you met them face to face as two groups, perhaps then maybe. They're not coming through the middle of the woods. But this paranoia started to develop, and everyone was feeling it. And it was not good. And from that, rumors began to spread. And that's why people started getting thrown out. Like one of the security guys who's been with the convoy the whole time got thrown. There's still an issue with that. He's been there the whole time. So everyone was just getting kicked out because one person, I don't know who, somewhere in higher ups, somewhere, one person, there was no unified rule about what you can do or not, and there was no clarity, and it allowed, didn't create it, but it allowed space for division to occur, and it came in. Division came in. And the funny thing is, the people who were most concerned about others spreading division were they themselves the ones perpetuating it. By calling people names. It's like, what did they do here that's problematic? I might lose you guys, but if so, it's a good chat. But this is what I want to talk about earlier. And this is not why I'm leaving. Go to Ottawa. Why diss WYSIWYG? I didn't diss WYSIWYG. Usually hanging around like-minded people. There's a lot of, well, yeah, that's true. I see what you're saying. But the feel of the convoy was the same across the board on the, online it comes off different. I can see why people online see things differently. It doesn't appear to be the same. And this is not why I'm leaving, guys. If you didn't catch the very beginning, I'm just leaving to go do some work. And I plan on coming back. But I just want to invite the trails in. The trolls in. The Amish don't fly flags. It's a good point. The Amish freaking crush. Start your own convoy if you can't handle being a patriot with love for the USA. It's not what I'm saying. You're like talking point people or something. The talking point ninjas. Oh, that talking point didn't work. Let me hit him with another talking point. If you can't do this, then you shouldn't be that. Lame. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying people are getting thrown out for reasons that nobody even understands. And there's no clarity about if you're going to get thrown out for what you're doing. And as Brian puts a stop to that, for whatever reason, his presence brought a stop to that. I'm telling you, as someone who's been there the whole time and watched it all unfold, there's a clear shift in the way things were handled, and it was not good. And it all started because they were afraid of these outside threats, and security started to tighten down. Then they tightened down again, which is the same thing that happens on a federal level. 9/11, oh my God, terror attacks, we have to down on your rights. It's what, on a minor scale, I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying, I'm telling you guys, this is what I saw happen. And you need to be aware of this if it starts to unfold, because it can destroy a movement. And I'm not saying that it will, but it actually absolutely won't at this point. It's too strong. And I think people are now buffered and armored against it. But there was a moment there where it appeared that it was crazy one day. I can't tell you how I felt that day. But it was wild. The Amish crush, dude. I'm tempted to go be Amish, man. The Constitution throws division to the curve. There's no freedom in division. Absolutely. Divide and conquer. United we stand, divided we fall. And that's exactly right. And it was weird because, and I think that the only reason I'm not criticizing the convoy necessarily, other than to just make people aware so that if they see this unfold again, they know how to handle it. And they know what they're seeing. Because I saw the unity as we came across the country. 100% unity. I'd never seen it in my life. Right? It was amazing. It drew people in from across the country. And part of the reason I think is because it was like because you start to settle down in the same area for long enough, and then energies build up in that spot, thought forms, whatever. They build in an area, and I think part of not moving constantly was part of that. And then there wasn't reinforcements coming in, right? The morale dropped. I guess that's the way to say it. Like I think that's what happens when morale drops among ranks. I'm sure there's like military people that might have experienced that out in the field. Like a division starting to form from paranoia. I mean, so it's nothing new for a lot of people, but that's what I saw starting to form. And it seems to be squished by now. Every flock needs a good shepherd to keep them going in the right direction and not wandering off in the wrong one. Yeah. Yeah, there needs to be one unifying voice. And that's what Brian is, like him or not. And no one's about the mission more than Brian. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other people, but they might be on par with their desire to make things work, right? He's out there doing his best. I hope not. Yeah, you're talking about the Ukraine. I can't even get into that. Brian says, are we leaving because the convoy mission statement changed? No. I'm just leaving to go home and do some work. I said that up front. I got this like title from Wrangler Star. I don't know if anybody watches him, but he always names his videos like something like this. And it's like, it gets attention, right? And I wanted to share that message, so I wanted to grab some people's attention and share that message. Because we got to focus on unity. It was unity across the whole country. So that's what I was saying earlier, is that I'm not trying to criticize it too much, because I'm not saying it was a bad thing, or it is a bad thing. I'm saying that I witnessed 100% unity begin to fall apart. And I'm telling people what I saw happen and why I saw it happening from the ground. Online, it's a different story. I don't know what the divide is there. It appears like, because I see in the comments how people feel. On the internet, people feel differently. Me, 2025 President Joe Biden. Constitutional rights mean freedom. And then says, actually no, says Purple, you don't get to decide what it means, boomer. Alright, we'll see. You really proved your point with the name drop at the end. And the Constitution is freedom, it does. I mean, what do you mean? You get to decide what words mean to you. Every one of us gets to decide what a word means to us. It'll be ridiculous. That's the thing, is like people think that the Constitution acts on its own. It doesn't do anything without you. It doesn't do anything without a man or woman with living breath, the spark of God in them, to move it. Without that, the piece of paper is meaningless. It might as well be toilet paper. I mean, I know that pisses some of you off, but you gotta like think. The paper's not doing anything for you, and that's proven by the way our government handles itself. Because the men and women of this nation forgot their rights. And they don't live by them. They don't breathe life into them anymore. Without their breath, that divine spark that was given to us at birth, the piece of paper is meaningless. The laws on the books are meaningless. We have to stand for them. realize this stream's probably a bit more opinionated than most, but I had something that had to be said about the whole division thing. And I made it a point, because I don't want to cause division. I kept my mouth shut until I watched it all unfold to see what needed to be said. Because I know who did what. And I'm not even going to drop names. But to a large extent, I know who did what behind the scenes that nobody saw on camera. And some of it was on camera. But the message is, like, don't let division creep in. Don't let this gang mentality of, like, Crips and Bloods, and I mean, that's how gangs form. The thing is too, is like security always has to maintain its presence, like a gang-like presence. They stand back to back with one another because they have to protect one another. And from a security standpoint, I see why they act like that. But when security is the head of the convoy and there's no main leader to guide the flock, the security mentality of the gang-like mentality security has, and I'm not even saying that like it's a bad thing. I understand why security has a gang-like mentality. I understand why it's like the same thing for police. You know, you stand with your brothers no matter what. You live by the blue, you die by the blue, right? That mentality is good for security, but it's not good for leadership. Because when you lead with that kind of mentality, it sows division so deep. Because now security is like, are you Antifa? Are you this? They're trying to pin you down to some other group that they can oppose constantly. I think that was really what happened. And the only reason I even can make that connection is because I watched it happen in my own city. There was these protests over a guy who got shot by the police. I've said this before. Andrew Brown got shot by the police. And there was protests that formed. Actually peaceful protests. Yeah, they were BLM, whatever. They were peaceful. And listen, I got the, as bad as I got it here with some accusations about things, it was much worse there. They were calling me, white supremacist, Trump supporter, this and that. Dude, it was bad. That's why I don't put up with that crap. From either side. I don't care who you are. I don't care. I don't put up with that crap. And it's funny. It's funny to me. That's how I don't put up with it. I just find it hilarious. But like coming from other people trying to like sow division, it's like, because they think they're doing the right thing, but ironically they're creating a problem. And I've been on the wrong end of that anywhere. I maintain neutrality as press. Because that's the only way to tell the story. I'm not going to lie and put myself in a position where I don't feel comfortable and say, I'm some kind of character that I'm not. I'm neutral. I see and report. But when I put it together, though, I don't even give all the details, because the devil's in the details, and that just adds confusion. That's what feeds the rumor mill, is the details, right? So I waited for the full picture to come together, and that's what I saw. And back to the point of the protests in my hometown, or one of them, I guess. Andrew Brown got shot by the police, and I was paid by a company to go out and film it. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll go film it. So I'm out there, I'm literally, even there, I was maintaining neutrality as the press. And I told some, like 3 or 4 people there that happened to be there a few months ago, we were talking out in an alley. That's where like the bars are out in the alley there. It's like a nice alley. It's not like a dingy alley, right? And I was talking with them, and they said something about Trump's this and that, and I said, well, actually I love him, because they were just all agreeing about how bad Trump was. And I said, I love him. Yeah, he's done a great job. And I said that to them months before these protests broke out. They took that information and spun it into all this other crap. And literally, people were coming up to me. I was going to a grocery store. I walked my dog down the road a week after the protests ended. And people were saying, Nazi, go home, Nazi. I'm like, jeez. I was just there filming. They're like, oh, you're right-wing media. I'm like, no. I was literally filming for a company that sells probably to CNN. I don't know, Fox. They could be selling anything. And the whole point to telling that story was, well, I mean, that's my background, I guess. But what I saw there was the reaction to the protesters. And this is what I'm saying right now. I don't agree with protesting in general. I didn't agree with what they were doing. But I kept my mouth shut and I watched. And what I saw was a security mentality form. And you had this, because the mayor, the mayor quit, I think. It was the mayor. I don't know why the mayor went out and stepped down for a second or something. Oh, the city manager, not the mayor. The city manager stepped down. The chief of police took his place until the next one arrived. The chief of police. And then they started getting these reports about Antifa coming and this and that, and they brought freaking police from across the state. I think some even came from Virginia. They brought in police from every district to flood the area to respond to this. Now, the worst that they did was block the roads, and they shouldn't have. But the way the police acted was out of pocket. And it came from this mentality of like a security leadership. Like one day they put an 8 p.m. curfew in place. No one was vandalizing property. What they would do occasionally was block a road. And what was ridiculous is the police were escorting them down, like so they could march down the road and walk. I don't know. I didn't agree with that at all. But they would block a road, and when they would do this, like the police would come and push them off. Well, so they put this 8 p.m. curfew in, and they were scared. They had these reports of people coming from outside the area, and they're Antifa agitators or whatever. I mean, like, dude, fear destroys. They didn't even have to send Antifa. That's Antifa winning right there. If you can go into a group and just anonymously call in, Antifa's coming, I'm in Antifa and this and that. That's all they have to do, and it creates fear in the freaking ranks. Antifa won. They don't even need to be there. They're there, and they're there in spirit. They've co-opted your whole movement, and they got to some people here, and they got to the police in my hometown when I was filming this event, and there was an 8 p.m. curfew put in, and the protesters, by the time 8 p.m. rolled around, they were out there on a Friday night, sitting on the sidewalk, talking. They weren't in the road or anything. They had cleared the road of their own accord. And they were just talking. Like the whole road blocking thing hadn't happened that day at all. And then here come the police marching down the road at 8 p.m. Fast and swift as they'd ever been. Move back, move back. I got clips of it on my YouTube channel. Go back enough. It was just absurd. Because what? They're sitting on the sidewalk? What? Because you have an 8 p.m. curfew? Justify that constitutionally. Justify an 8 p.m. curfew when nobody's breaking windows, no one's breaking the law, other than the bullcrap curfew you just put in place. And this was all because of rumors of Antifa. And so what happened was they pushed the protesters up the street. And the protesters, the moment that the police started to march down the road, the protesters got back in the street to stand up to them. It's like if the police never came, they would have went home. They were ready to go home. That was what was happening. And then the police show up. And the protesters rise up to go stand up against them. Then for the next 3 hours, they pushed the protesters back. And it was wrong what they did. It was wrong what they were doing. The police messed up. And I called my county commissioner and I told him this the next day. And they removed that curfew that night. They knew they messed up. I don't know if it was, what did it? Well, I think what did it was what I'm about to tell you. At some point, as we're being pushed up the street, CJTV was there. He came to the People's Convoy for a day, but I missed him. That's where I met him. And they were pushing us up the street. And we get to this one part, and it was just like 3 hours of this. Move back, move back. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like this, it was so stressful. And then all of a sudden, these four-wheelers and dirt bikes come in, and they just start to do donuts and wheelies in the middle of the street, and it totally broke the tension. It was an escalation that, to me, yeah, they shouldn't have been doing that, right? But it was an escalation brought about by the excessive police force. And to be honest with you, I was on the side of the people with the dirt bikes and four-wheelers in that moment. Because the police didn't care if you're media or what. They treated you all the same. Because you could have just been an Antifa, right? It's totally inappropriate what they did. And all that just goes to say that when you have a security mindset leading an entire organization, it creates division. It's just the nature of security to be gang-like, because you have to stand by your brothers and sisters on the security team first and foremost. That makes sense. And I'm not saying gang-like to be insulting. It just is what it is. Maybe there's a way to be a security force without that mentality at all. I don't know. I wouldn't know. But when that's what happened. It seemed that security kind of took the reins, and they started to kick people out of their own accord, is what I saw happening. And so all you people out there on the internet, if you can't agree, you're getting out. Like, yeah, but who made the decision to kick people out? It wasn't clear. It's still not clear. Larry says, how is freedom fascist? I don't know what that's talking about. Antifa and Uncle Bog. What? Wait, what's Uncle Bog? Uncle Boog. Oh, Antifa and Uncle Boog. President Joe Biden, you got the greatest gaffes. My Antifa and my Uncle Boog. That's a good one. Oh, Lord. My children have never been masked, says Purple. Wow, that's got to be challenging. Sorry, guys, in the comments, I'm so far behind. I don't know if you're talking to me or each other. I thought he was trying to stay neutral and cover what was happening. So Dot says, I thought you were trying to stay neutral and cover what's happening. I don't know what all been happening, but if you're leaving, something bothered you, and I understand. Oh, Dot, no, I'm just, the title is, it's kind of clickbait. I am leaving. I'm just going back to work for a minute. I got to make some money. I got to go package some books and get some writing done. I plan on coming back. It's just clickbait. I made sure in the recording, like, so if you go back all the way to the beginning, the first thing that I say is, right off the bat, guys, I'm just leaving to go do some work. But for the live stream, to drag in even some trolls, man. I want a few trolls to come in, boost my algorithm. I'm just leaving to do some work. Haven't all 50 states joined the People's Convoy? The People's Convoy North Carolina, the People's Convoy Ohio. Missouri is to protest at the state capitals, right? Mission is to protest at the state capitals. Going to take time to see things happen. So, is that what somebody said earlier? Did you leave because the mission statement changed? I didn't know it changed, but I get if that's what you're talking about, that change. I thought the whole time, and I didn't think that there was the manpower to make it happen, but now I think there definitely is. There needs to be this at every state capital if people want to make a real impact, because the federal government's one level and it's the hardest level to crack. But if you want a real impact, you got to do this in every state, unless they were perfect, which I don't know if anyone was perfect. There were some that did pretty good, but they all had some kind of crazy restriction at some point. And the Emergency Powers Act has been, see, that's the Emergency Powers Acts go way back too, though. And none of them have been repealed. I know this one's in regards to the COVID mandates. Just talking about laws here, YouTube. But, like, what was Lincoln was the first one to start putting them in or something. Seize power or something. The Aunt Tifa and Uncle Boog. Oh, Lord. I protested during the 60s and 70s when the war was in Vietnam, says Mary. How was that? Somebody, Coin's not in here right now. She's saying she protested back in, she was protesting Fauci in the, I think she said the 80s. purple. I'm trying to unmute your comment. It just was an auto thing. You said the word "but" and it blocked it automatically. I'm trying to unmute it, but it's not working. If you just take out the word "but," it should go through. Why BUTT is so offensive to YouTube? I don't know. Possibly offensive word. Must ban. And again, guys, I could lose the stream at any moment. If I do, I'll be back at some point in the future. Aunt Tifa and Uncle Boog. Yeah, I had to remember that one, dude. That's funny. Are you dude? If somebody says, "Are you Aunt Tifa?" to me again, that's my response. Oh, how'd you know my aunt's name was Tifa? How did you know? How did you know that I had an Aunt Tifa? Right. I wonder if the Boogaloo Boys is like that on the left, right? Some left organization starts to actually organize something that's a peaceful protest of sorts, and then they get calls like, "Oh, the Boogaloo Boys are coming. We got to clamp down on security." The Boogaloo Boys might actually march to the woods. Antifa. My Aunt Tifa, she ain't coming through no woods. She ain't marching through no woods. Uncle Boog, though, he might make the trek. There's a difference there. But no, they wouldn't do that. What is the Boogs? What are the Boogs? Are they like, they came out of like what, the Gavin McGinnis group, the Proud Boys? Are they like a sect of that? I still don't understand even what they are. Why are you leaving the convoy? I gotta get work done. Yes, I think I'm going back, Lisa. Sometimes the comments get backed up and I can't see them. The ANCAP with the shooty shoot was Nick, young man who seemed to have received some knowledge and thought he had found wisdom. Hold on, I think you're confusing two people there, that guy. I think you're mixing two people into one. Those are two different people. I could be wrong, maybe. I don't really know who that guy was. I'd never seen him before. Well, I mean, I'm sure I've met him before. I met so many people, and people come up to me like, "Oh yeah, we met up by a fire." I'm like, you know. So I might have met him. I'm not sure. But I think you're confusing two people is what it seems like, the details there. I could be wrong. Citation needed. What a ridiculous name. Antifa is like Taliban. They put their ugly... What? This guy, a great conversationalist, is the channel for open dialogue or totally right-wing channel. Mine, Brian? No, I'm not right. That's what I'm saying. I don't associate with wings. I'm the whole bird. But really, I'm just, I just serve God. That's it. If all of a sudden God's like, "Oh, these, the leftists start stand for, God's law, Most High's law, Yahweh's law, then, hey, I would move over, I don't cover right or left. I got, dude, my aunt and uncle are Aunt Tifa and Uncle Boog, very balanced. I'm a very balanced guy. I see both sides. And then beyond. To both sides and beyond. That's the saying from Toy Story, right? Let's see both sides and beyond. What's going on, Golden? Why are you leaving Convoy? I said in the very beginning, but I got books I sell online and they're all back in my house. I gotta go package them up and ship them out and do some writing and scrape funds together because, that's how I've been mostly paying the bills. If you guys want to support the stream, check the description. But I gotta scrape some cash together and send out books that were sold. You can go to my website too, healinglaw.com/shop. Check out the books there. You only put lefties in separate political boxes. They can't understand anything else. They put anyone in different political boxes, man. And I find most people are like, really, most people I've ever met or spoken with are, would describe themselves as like independents, right? And obviously they mostly agree with one side or the other. But like, look at how ridiculous things are when you get to that mentality. Hypocrisy sets in hard. Like, look, George Bush went to war with Iraq because of weapons of mass destruction, right? And that was a very right-wing thing. Right-wing people were like, oh my God, let's go do it, let's go do it. Now what do we see? They're talking about going into Ukraine or even possibly Russia if Russia happens to have chemical weapons that go off. And that's the left wing. They're, and supposedly the left was very anti-war back then. Now the right's anti-war, right? So it's like, in this situation, and that's just what happens when you identify with a side, because there's always like a balance that happens in the groups. I don't understand. I'm not even going to attempt to describe what that might be, because I'm just now kind of talking about that. I don't know. There's definitely something too, like if you divide yourself into one group and you're like against another, you become a hypocrite. Because you have to be able to see both sides. I think I'm coming back. I'm not sure. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Purple. I mean, I tried. Obviously, everyone's got to be biased to some extent, and I guess my opinion is more right-leaning in extent. But like again, with the whole protest that I saw in my hometown, I just say what I see, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just keep my mouth shut and wait for the story to unfold. Because sometimes there's no point to saying what I saw, because there's a bigger picture at play that's more important. Dems are for the people, GOP are for the rich. Figure it out, people. Texas Texan says, no one's for the people, man. They're all for themselves. They pretend to be, that's how they get the voting blocks. It's all about voting blocks. Dems are for the people, quote unquote, as in they'll give you free money if you vote for them, to the poor. But then they're getting you on the back end. Both sides just keep adding laws and adding laws. Didn't Trump say, that was like one of the first things Trump did, and I don't know if that ever came to fruition. If for every law that's passed or something, there has to be like several repealed. I don't think that was just a rumor. I thought that was an actual thing, and I don't know if that actually went anywhere, but we need to shed these laws. Like, there's so many laws. And I think that people taking action in courts on their own, like going to court more often over more things, suing on your own behalf, representing yourself in court, will, it's like, how the convoy comes in the street, right? They make the presence known. It clogs the traffic up and people have to see their story, right? They have to hear their story. Agree with it or not. Courts are the same way. If we all went to court over and over and over little things even, then the courts get bogged down. Okay? And that's not a bad thing. It's already slow, but the reason it's slow is because lawyers like to make money and scrape out the cases as long as they can to make more money. But if you bog the courts down with cases, what's the response from the government? Well, in my opinion, I don't have a fact, but the most logical, reasonable thing is we have to start scrapping some of these lower laws that make no sense, right? We don't want to enforce, somebody getting a ticket for their taillight being out anymore. We can't afford the court time. We don't have the money to do it because we have all these other cases to handle now. We can't afford to, fine you for not putting a mask on your child at school or something, whatever that might be. Talking about the laws, Google. Talking about the laws. But if you bog it down like that, then they have to start shedding these crazy laws that they got on the books, don't wear a pink shirt on Friday. You know, they're not going to be able to enforce that law anymore if everyone's using the courts as they were intended to be. So then they start to shed these laws. I think that that's another aspect. We have to. It's got to be a multi. You got to have multiple tactics going on. And there's that video on the petition if you guys are trying to sign the People's Convoy petition, I believe it's the official petition. I could be wrong. I'm not trying to say that it is and it's not, but I think it is. Watch my last video. I believe a guy explained it to me in like 3 minutes. Boom, how to do it. He was going around passing them out, and I said, "Oh, let me get a video of this for you, like, so people can know." It seems like, I guess you just fill that out, you print it, you fill it out, and you mail it in. And like that's one aspect that needs to be done, right? Then you go to the courts, then you go to the state capitals. Like that's what, like the left. I don't like people on the left who are trolling this. It's like, guys, if you want to get something done and you're really about something, but see, people get the left is so angry. So is the people on the right are too, but the left seems to be way more angry for some reason, especially because there's a lot of youth who are just going through that phase in their life where they realize they've been lied to them their whole life, and then they're trying to scrape out some freaking semblance of truth, and they find it in this. You know, they find it in the left wing. They identify with the left gang. And they get lost in that. But like, rather than, this is the point I've been trying to make to people, because I don't care if you disagree or not. It's like, let's be better as people. The left should be watching this, because things are going to change because of this. I don't know what. I don't know if it'll be the Emergency Powers Act or not. I don't know. But there's connections that have been made that are going to last everyone that's there's lifetime, everyone that's here's lifetime. People have been inspired in a new way to take action. And they have a new venue through which to express themselves and make that happen. And so if you disagree with what the People's Convoy stands for, and you're like on the left wing or you're a separate group, watch and learn. It doesn't have to be a trucker thing. And it's not. That's why it was very smart of them to not make the People's Convoy like a trucker thing, necessarily. It's definitely about truckers for sure, but it's the People's Convoy. It's all about money from both sides, Mike, exactly. And control over your life, for sure. I mean, they definitely like that, but that just comes down to money for them. Mike says, F politicians. His comment got hidden out. I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I don't know why YouTube blocks that. Like, why spend money bringing in speaker to preach to the choir? No vision for the bigger picture. Well, they're getting their story out there. It's like, you might disagree with Ricky Bobby and going up there with the bus. People heard him. And it's the same thing with the convoy. It's the same thing with the convoy. You might not agree with what the convoy's doing. People are getting the message. It may not be everyone. It may not be on CNN. It may not be on Fox. But the people out on the streets, conversations are happening. People are inspired again. I mean, you should have seen the police around the federal courthouse when, like, because Ricky Bobby was down there blasting music, dude. He was vibing the music up. It was awesome. We're waiting for the Coy trial. Ricky Bobby was in there hanging out with Coy, like, getting the inside scoop. He brought his speaker out there, was blasting music, waving his flags. He sang like the national anthem by himself in the corner. He was just amping it up, dude. It was awesome. Like, he was making his presence known. And the police were chilling by him, dude. They loved it. They were eating their lunch by him, watching the show. Like, they were just hanging out. They were so happy to see something happening that was good and fruitful. And that's why, dude, Ricky Bobby should have been kicked out, man. I still stand by that. I get he should have had a stern talking to, but he felt like he wasn't listened to, and he's just an outgoing character like that, man. And he shouldn't have done what he did with the bus. But that was like the first time I met Ricky Bobby. I was like, oh man, this dude's awesome, dude. He's someone you want on your team. Like, that's the thing, is people don't realize, yeah, he's got this young energy that's like out there and very exciting, and like maybe it was the wrong place. Use that energy to your advantage, because man, I'm telling you what, he's someone you want on your team. The same thing with James that got kicked out for just filming it and not unplugging the mic and quote unquote having an anarchy pin. He shouldn't have been kicked out either, but I think they've given, I don't know what's going on with them. Because they were there for the right reasons. They were young and they might have acted inappropriately, but guess what? That's what young people do. They're trying to vent that frustration. They want to see the right thing happen. They just don't know how to go about it. And that's how people in the convoy, who've been with the convoy, felt too. The leadership might have felt differently, maybe. I don't think so, though. Honestly, I don't know. I never talked to them personally. I know security felt different. And security handled it like, you're not with us, you're against us. And I get why people have that mentality, but it's like they weren't against you. They were just like trying to make sure things were handled right. And they're young. They're like 25. It's like when I was 25, I was doing some stupid crap too. I wish I was doing some stupid crap at something like the People's Convoy rather than out in the streets, because it would have been more effective. And what they went about it the wrong way, but like, dude, you want those types of people on your team. Just teach them how to guide their energy, channel their energy for what you need it to do. There is no I in team, not all our team players, for sure, Larry, but we're all in, but everyone's an independent actor. Like, I've never said that I'm like part of the team. I keep saying this over and over, and I tell anyone who asks me, I'm neutral. I maintain neutrality. That doesn't mean I won't go help in the kitchen when I have time or something like that, because I love doing it. It's awesome. It's an opportunity. Like, you have countless missions to go on there. That's what's so awesome. It's like there's never a dull moment. You have something to do all the time. There's no like time to lay down in bed because you're depressed about the day and you don't know what to do. That's what's awesome about being there. That's why I love being there. It's like there's always a mission. There's always something you can do. If it's streaming or if it's organizing something, picking up trash. There's something to be done all the time. You always have a mission to go on. It's awesome. And honestly, it's a type of living that we need to get back to. And I've long thought that. Even on the left, I've seen that forming too, like rainbow gatherings and all that. The whole thing that came out of Woodstock. I think that's awesome too. I think it's a little bit too like hippie dippy, but like it's a similar thing where like, well, Dr. Post Malone got up there and said it yesterday. Community, 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 community. That's what people need to harp on. And anybody who thinks the People's Convoy is fruitless, you're wrong, because it's a community. It's a community that's formed. It will be there for 100 years. That network of people that's been created here will be here for 100 years. The remnants of this will last for it could last for hundreds of years. It's not about going into the White House and tearing up a document. It's about establishing a network of community, because the reality is, and Brian said at some point too, I like to refer to Brian because he's like an authoritative person, right? Citation needed would appreciate this. All my citations from the convoy pretty much come from Brian. It's our fault what happened. It's our fault. This whole thing, the lockdowns, it's our fault. I've been saying this the whole time. It's our fault. We can't go into DC and make them change something and then everything just be better. Now, we might be able to get the document removed, right? That's a possibility, for sure. That'd be awesome. But there's still the space for another one to come in. It's the culture of the people and the lack of community, the division that's been created in society that's run so deep over the last 100 years, that allowed such a bill to happen in the first place. If there were these tight-knit communities like the one, at the People's Convoy and the things that are forming now, it wouldn't happen. I don't care if you're on the left or the right. You got to get with community. Fruitful communities, preferably. You don't want to be like Antifa to be your community, or and that's the thing too, is like these guys, they get into Antifa, they get into Boogaloo Boys. Why do you think they're going there? Because there's no community for them. They don't know where to go. So they find a group of people that accepts them, that they feel is what they need to do, and then they get misguided. So it's like Antifa's not your enemy. Most of them are children that need guidance. Like, we gotta stop seeing children as your enemy. If you're like 25 or younger, you're a child to me. And if you're in Antifa, like, I just see you as a child who needs guidance. And I can't blame them for going there. A lot of them grew up with no parents, no household. They have no community to turn to. Because everyone got so selfish and so into their own material wealth and whatever over the last 100, 200 years. And this isn't a problem that's going to go away overnight. And it's going to take community to fix it. And it's like a mission to go on, right? Things degraded. Everybody had fun for a couple hundred years. Great job, guys. Now we got to clean everything up. And that's going to take 100, 200 years for things to get back where they need to be. But the framework's still there. The oil just, like 8.3 leader was saying, the framework's there, but the oil needs to be changed. We need to update, maintain the engine. We have a great engine, the Constitution, but we need to update and maintain it. Community is important, and I'm glad. I didn't know what to think of Post Malone, but the funny thing is so many people told me to watch that interview with him on Rogan. So many people, and I never got around to it. And lo and behold, I get to see him say it in person, and I was happy when he said that. Like, that's such an important message. It's about community. That's how you fix this. Brian's still amazing, guys. You can criticize him all you want, but I'm telling you, on the ground, when you're actually a part of it, like if you're actually there and you feel what's going on, you see what's going on, his lack of presence had a negative impact on the convoy. His presence had a positive impact on the convoy morale. So you can criticize all you want, and I get what you might be seeing from online. In person, he's there. He's always willing to talk to someone about whatever. I don't know how he does it. I mean, obviously, he's always like, maybe he'll be short with you because he's like, I got to handle this and this and this. But his lack of presence was felt greatly. And his presence shifted the entire energy back to what it originally was, that unity, that unifying voice. I don't know what it looks like out in the online world. I don't know. And I helped create that world. So but I don't know what that looks like. I understand I see people in the comments and what they say. And I get the feeling from the people outside that are watching this, people have been watching the whole time, and what they see. It's not what people there see. It's two different worlds.
Message from James and
I know multiple local politicians from Maryland tried to reach out to Brian on Facebook, and he ignored every single one of them. Bro, what's that tell you? It tells me he's busy. It means he's busy. What do you think it means? Because then he's got to suss him out, and then he's got to do background checks. He doesn't have time. It's more work for him. And he's got to get back home and make money for himself and his family. He bragged about seeing his children. What's wrong with that? He's got to be, like, they're growing up. They need his presence. I get that, Mike. I was there for many, many weeks. But what I'm saying is the message got changed somewhere along the line, and it lost the taste of power. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, the message changed. Well, they did say they did start telling people to go home and do it in their own states. I think that there's going to be like this central band, and now all these states. Oh, somebody asked me about that earlier. I forgot to answer, I think. Yeah, but there's now a state. There's like now local chapters in every state. Country strong. Again, you said that the convoy will not accomplish anything. I already explained why it's not true. It's a community that's formed. That community will last 100 years and onward. You got to see, like, it's subtle things sometimes. It's subtle things. Oh, that was the turn? What the heck? I don't think he failed to do the paperwork to get the permit. I think they were just denied. Stop causing confusion with everyone, you a-hole, says William. I don't know who you're talking to. Better not be me. Sherry says, sorry, I think you're a coward, a dissident. Run, rabbit, run. Have fun with that, Sherry. Have fun hiding in your basement in fear every day of your life. Kent says, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Mike says, we have to stand together, not apart. Again, that was my whole message today. Don't let division creep in. Don't let a gang-like mentality of separation set in. And the elders in society haven't done this for a long time. Mentor the youth. The youth need to be mentored, like extremely, especially nowadays. I'm not going to side with someone who doesn't understand the youth need guidance. Like everybody says this is for our children. Yeah, and the youth too. You got to this is the perfect time. If the youth are here, they're in the right place for the wrong reason, perhaps. But they're in the right place. God put them there for a reason. Cultivate that creative force that they have in them that they don't quite understand yet. I don't know if you guys ever grew up and had challenges with your attitude. At some point, some of you, the ones that seem to have a problem with youngsters having an attitude problem, haven't fixed their own. anyways, guys. Oh, if you guys want to see a whole Post Malone speech, jump over to my Rumble. I recorded it over there. I have like a better camera angle with a nicer camera that I'm gonna put up. I don't know where to put it though. What I was thinking is every time he mentions something, I'm just gonna put like a loud censor, like beep 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 beep, like when he's talking, and just censor the heck out of it, like as a joke, like make the beep like extra annoying, just like to state a point. I might put it on YouTube. I'm not sure. Donald says, I know for a fact there are multiple clicks here in Hagerstown. Yeah, there's definitely clicks. And clicks are okay, but you can't like, it's like when that click becomes like, you know, we're against these people and those people, like. But I gotta get off here soon, guys. I'm 7 years old, seen plenty in my lifetime, and no more than I care to. So this is the only movement I've seen since the 60s. What do you think of it, Sherry? Convoy appears over? No, it's not though. It might appear that way, and like I said, I think that there is a pause in the momentum. There is supposed to be another convoy arriving. I don't know. From the reports, it's as big as this one was when it arrived. So it could be huge. I don't know. I don't know how nobody can figure this stuff out and relay that information. It just doesn't happen. There's supposed to be a large segment coming in tomorrow. And again, yeah, people are going back to their home states to take action there, like even independent of this. And you have people that now are empowered in their hearts to like stand up, right? And they know people they can contact in their time of need or how to handle something. Like my stream, people can say, oh, whatever, just waste time. I learned so much from so many different streamers out there, like how to put my equipment together, how to, you know, that's how I got the AT&T business plan, dude. That's why stream's not dropping. And it's cheaper than all the other plans I had that I was trying to piece together and be cheap about. Then in my equipment, somebody showed me about Velcro and how you put this thing together with Velcro. Such a simple thing, cheap. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I was able to like improve my camera equipment thing where I could put both my phones on the same selfie stick, the same $10 stick, put a battery pack on it and everything, and then even mount it to my tripod if I need to, with a light on it. It's like I learned about how to put that all together with Velcro. That's just me. That's just what I learned from just talking to people there in that one aspect of like streaming and getting content out. And then you also have a bunch of people who saw how easy streaming can be, who started streaming the event. Now they're going to start doing it. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to go to the local areas. And when there are people there talking, right? When there's people there, they're going to get the word out for those people. You guys don't realize what's formed here. It's a community. I know it's like foreign to a lot of people because it's been so long since it's happened. But it's a community. And that structure is going to continue, like I said, for 100 years, 150 years. It's going to have an impact on society. Right now I have 20 people solid that I met right now that I can have a conversation with at any time about anything related to like the kind of stuff that we're talking about here. If I need help doing something, you know, I can contact this people. I can contact these people. I know these people can put this together. And this is just, this isn't going to be the only time this happens either. This is going to continue to happen over and over again until we develop an entirely new society where it's more community-based. We get back to that community structure. And it's not just one community really, but like you'll have people that are willing to help one another to make things happen. Because as society collapses, we're going to have to rely more and more on one another. As these food chain supplies break down, we're going to need that community to be stronger. And without that, we're not going to make it. This is big picture things, guys. This isn't some, we're going to go to the White House and make Biden resign. This is bigger picture thinking. A community has formed. Communities have joined together. People who already had networks of communities, like Free PA. Free PA had like 17 chapters in Pennsylvania, and that all started 2 years ago. People might say, oh, the meeting is pointless, whatever. Now that whole entire community right there joined up with, you know, the People's Convoy. Now those two communities are one. Essentially, they can connect when they need to. And they have all the resources that the other has. They both have like-minded ideas and are ready they're ready and willing to like help each other. You gotta stop thinking that there's gonna be some like overnight thing. Like, oh my gosh, like something happened and now everything's better. It's never gonna be that way. It's a march. It's a walk through the forest. You might be able to see the destination on the map. It doesn't mean you're there. You have to get there. You have to put one foot in front of the other. You got to get there. And that's what community building's all about. It takes time though. And it's crucial.
You have 2 new text messages.
But I'm gonna hop off here in a minute, guys. Unless convoy folks start rolling around here. I'm like, hoping that there's a gas station. May not be though. May not be. Sherry, safe travel, God. Thanks, Sherry. I know I asked you earlier, as I'm looking for your comments now. I don't know if you answered my question. No, I guess you didn't even answer, so that's fine. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna jump off here, guys. What the fuck is they doing? It says that guy says these convoys are reminding us that we're not alone. Absolutely. Exactly. Oh, I made a wrong turn. I'm in the wrong lane. Whew. All right, I'll sit here and close out the stream. I mean, look at it. I have 100-something people in this room right now. I could have never done that earlier, other than when some of the Maxwell case. You know? Now I can get what I have to say out to people, right? That's just me. That's just one person. Laters. Is his name James? Yeah, one of the guys was kicked out. That's his name. Ugh. Alright, guys. I gotta get out of here. Take care. Be sure to, check out all my other platforms in the links or the description. And if you guys are looking for Nebraska Hillbilly, that was even better the second time you did it. Ha 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 ha. Cynthia says, I'm learning I'm not the fringe minority, I'm the silent majority. But now you're not silent anymore, right? Speak your mind. I think everybody was so afraid to speak their minds for so long, myself included. Now I just don't care. Which is why I have problems with people on the left and the right. I just don't care. If you have an issue with me, This is just the beginning. Yeah, it's just the beginning. What about flat Earth? Now I'm gonna get a banner ad down the bottom just for reading that comment. Joey, you have fun with that sad thinking. Alright guys, I better jump off here. Take care now. I'll go 3.5 more minutes. Just make a nice round number. This isn't going to have an impact on society. Tell me how, what, how? Whoever just said that, Donald. I just explained for like 30 minutes. Thanks, Dot. I explained for like 30 minutes what the impact is. I'm not repeating it again because it's a long conversation. Anybody got tips for taking care of basil? See, this is the real stuff we need to start addressing back home. How do we take care of basil? Don, I just don't have time for the conversation again. Go back 15, 20 minutes. I don't know if you were here. I don't know how you possibly missed it. Karen says, everyone's jealous because a live streamer can make a little money here, while big stream eater corporations are paid billions. Yeah, exactly. And they all eat it up. I didn't really get paid, though. This cost me money. So if you guys want to support the stream, and I'm happy to have paid it. God took care of the bills on the back end, but if you want to help me get better equipment in the future and keep doing this, I intend to keep traveling and doing this. So paypal.me/healinglaw or whatever, there's links down in the description. I don't like to ask anymore though, because everything just works out. But I did not make money by doing this. What state do you live in? I'm going back to North Carolina. Thanks, lady. Of course. No, I mean, dude, it's so fun. If you think this organization's... Thank you, Purple Pros. Thank you for the super chat. Country Strong, you said it. Don, I just can't even... Normally I'd entertain you. I don't even know what that is. A sticker. I don't think I've ever gotten a sticker. That was sweet. That's the first ever sticker I've gotten. Oh yeah, I love North Carolina's great. I think I want to go to Charlotte for a bit after this. I'm not sure though. Depends. Donald, you are the most... How is it to live with yourself, man? Look at the bright side of things. Like I said, it's about community, and the community's been formed here. Bonds that will last a lifetime have been formed. And out of those bonds, fruits will come. Did I ever speak with Tyler Lee? I don't think so. Canadians are still at it. Yeah, I mean, the Canadians are still going. That's the thing. I heard they restarted because of this, that they sent more people in. Don, I think this is a better image than Canada, to be honest with you. Canada did not come off well to me. But I think they worked on it too. It is, yeah, you're right about that. It is looks and optics for sure. Tyler Lee for Congress, Charlotte, North Carolina, District 12. Oh no, I don't live out that way at all. I live on the East Coast. People who drive the... Yeah, but it's not about the Beltway. It's about a message being heard about people coming together. I don't know. Alright, I'm really going to close it out now. Boom. Oh, Tyler Lee was... Oh, okay. Tyler Lee from... Oh, he's running in Charlotte. He's in Hagerstown. No, I missed that. I don't know when that was. Interesting. No, I didn't meet him. But I'm going to jump off here, y'all. Thanks so much for being here and listening to me rant. I may or may not do one in a bit. I'm not sure.